it was sort of it was a bit of an affirmation that like Cult, the punk was kind of done. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4 power chords. You know, the Pistols album was brilliant. You know, you're not. What's the point of redoing that badly? So we went on that was kind of where I felt we were at, and that sort of led me to this. You know, I always wanted this model. So eventually I managed to get an older one, I think in 1982. So I used that. So basically this signature guitar is just that guitar, slightly different paint job. I wanted it more like vintagey, and I wanted it not to be lacquered just for the sound. Because I wasn't getting enough horsepower out of it. When we were doing the follow-up album to Love, I was trying to get this heavier sound, and I just couldn't wring it out of the Gretsch. The pickup was too light. They didn't have enough output, you know, so eventually he in typical American fashion went, well, just send me a recording of what you want. And I think I sent him a recording of a Telecaster with a humbucker in it. And I said, I want it to sound like that. Just and so that's where we started, I think, a long time ago.
I'd never seen someone play, I'd never seen a guitar player before, let alone something that big. And I was like, young 11-year-old me, dead tiny. I was like, oh my God, that's huge, you know. And I'd never been to a gig before, just never been. But I'd listen, because my mum and dad brought me up on records of the Cult and Guns N' Roses and stuff. And then she's like, come to this gig. So I went to the gig. And I was stood on the balcony, so you were, so I was stood here and you were just below. And just before you guys came on, before the intro music, these guys come out, right? Bear in mind, I was really young and I didn't really know what was going on. And then these guys pushed in front, so I'm stood there, my mum's behind me, and they pushed in front, my mum's like, you know, and it turns out it was Ian.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It was Ian, and then what happened is that the intro music came on, and you guys come on, she went, oh my God, what have I just done? And I was like, what's the matter, Mum? She went, you don't want to know. And then she told me way later on what had happened.
Right. What was he doing up there?
I think he was just checking out the crowd, see what was going on,
okay.
And just came out, little look, and then went back out because we were stood by the stage door.
Oh,
you know?
right.
And he came on in the same outfit, and my mum was like, oh my God. After you guys finished playing, your tech came out and went, Billy, why don't you strap these? And it's 2 big picks. I was like, that's what I want to do when I'm older.
You know, these days, well, you can see it on the internet, you can do this on YouTube, you can do that, but if you're in that same space, you breathe the same air, you know, you get a glance from a musician or something, you know, that can be transformational. You know, you always remember that first gig.
Because there hasn't, for me, there's no guys in our sort of scene that are really doing that. It's Les Pauls and it's Fenders. I thought that's what I want to do because, you know, a lot of it's been done before and that hasn't really been brought back. I think, you know, Billy was like the pioneer of that sort of movement. I was like, that's what I want to do. So I saved everything I had, you know, everything I had. And I went to the guitar shop and I said, can I just order it in? I just want to play it. No intention on buying it, but I knew. My girlfriend was like, you're going to buy that thing, you know you are. And I ordered it in, I picked it up, I was like, yeah, I'll have it. And then, but yeah, it broke me out. Like, I don't think people realise how broke I was at the time. But it was the best thing, because when it's on the record, it's sort of become like, when people see Piston, it's always playing the Falcon. You know, people go, let's have a look at the Falcon, you know. And it's kind of like that sort of thing, so. Because when I've seen Billy play, I've seen you guys play quite a few times, and I remember seeing it, was hitting this thing, like, I was like, right, okay. And then when I plugged it into an amp for the first time, I was being quite shy with it. I was like, And then I started really giving it some welling. I was like, now we're getting the life out of it. And I think that's the best way you get it out of it, you know, you've got to play like you mean it.
You know, it's not a boy's instrument. You know, you go up there and play one of these. You have got to mean it.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to really be quite aggressive and control it because it gets kind of wild and crazy up there when you know, at volume in a little, you know, rehearsal room or a club or something. It's one thing, but you go on full pelt in a big size room with these. You know, then you hear it coming out the PA as well.
Yeah.
It's kind of a trip. There's nothing really like it. You know, when you go in a church. It's like you've got that kind of sound, like the atmosphere when you walk in like a church. That's what a Gretsch has always kind of given to me. I can't really articulate it.
That's such a great way of...
That's the best analogy I've ever come up with in a million years of playing one.
The more you complicate the rig, the more things can go wrong, and the more it kind of splits down the middle. So I've got a wah, I've got that, and a pog for a couple of songs, and that is it, you know. Oh, there you go. weird sound.
In order for rock to mean anything, to me, it has to be authentic. At whatever stage of your life you're in, you know, you can't, and I understand the desire for people to get, you know, classic rock guys to make an album like they made 40 years ago, but it's never going to happen. You know, it's just not biologically possible, I don't think, you know, unless you can clone and, you know, that's why you get this and you get that.
Yeah.
Because he's doing it. Before, when we were tuning up and doing all that, you know, they're a guitar that you really do have to kind of attack them to get the rock sound. I think that's the difference. It's like we're both doing rock music with Gretsch's, which is somewhat unusual. Not unique these days, but somewhat unusual.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, you have to treat them slightly differently. It's not as simple as a Les Paul and, you know, just plug it in and play. You've got to work with them a little bit, you know.
I think it's definitely about the way you play as well, you know.
Yeah.
Like, because when we did the record, we had like one solid riff, and I was thinking, well, what can I do to kind of bring that, you know, really widen that out? And then like what you do with Sanctuary, when you've got the solid rhythms, and then when it goes into, you know, the choruses, it really opens up into that, you know, the D string, and it really opens up. And I thought that was pretty cool. So I started to take, like, really just analyse what was going on, bring that into some of, you know, our playing by jumping down to the higher octave. And then that's when in the studio I was like, oh, that's really cool. Okay, so that's where I kind of, you know, thinks about the way you attack and play.